What is going on, guys? Another episode of Be the Exception podcast. We're doing a little year in review here because I don't know. Fuck, it's the new year. I think this one's just going to be a little bit more fun, and we're just going to kind of shoot the shit. So, as always, thanks for jumping on and listening, guys. But yeah, we're just going to run through the year, run through, what all happened at Blacklisted, what happened with our athletes. It was a little bit of a crazier year for us. We're starting to kind of get settled into a place now, which is nice. But yeah,
feels like 3 years in one.
Yeah, I was thinking about this morning. It's like, man, a year is a long time, but it's also not a long time.
No,
it's weird. But yeah, I mean, I think honestly, we kind of didn't really have anything going on in January and February this year until Fittest of the Coast.
Right.
It was honestly like status quo of what we've been doing for the last 3 years of just training on Saturdays and trying to put, good efforts, good teams forward. And then Fittest of the Coast happened, and we had a pretty good showing at that.
How many athletes did you have go?
I don't remember how many we had.
Because it was you, Dan, and Pat. Well, Pat competed, but you, Dan, and Pat went.
Yeah. Yep.
I had to go to Wadapalooza.
Yeah. And I think there was, I don't remember how many we had there. It was a lot. But we had Amanda won elite female. And then we had Caroline win intermediate, Amanda and Pat podium, and then Caroline and AJ won team intermediate, I think. So we had a pretty good showing there at that one. That was just fun. So you went to Wadapalooza with Stella though, right?
No. I went down. Courtney was down there.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then I had some work stuff I needed to go down. So like it just worked out to go do that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Were you coaching Courtney at that time?
Mm-hmm. Just like we had just
started, right? Yeah. That's right. Yeah, they won the Masters Open division, right?
Yeah, and I learned real quickly a lot about Courtney very fast.
Yes. Shout out to Courtney, who literally keeps this company running.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. So like, because I learned like she panics about stuff when she knows she has to do it. And I gave her a Masters semifinal workout on 2 weeks ago on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but didn't tell her.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So she's just another workout and did pretty good. And then I gave it to her again, actually this Monday. So knowing that and obviously she did better, but like she already had done it. So mentally she was like, oh, I'm good. I got this. And then did it again and went even faster. But I realized if I tell her like this is important, she'll fucking freak out.
That's funny.
Learn to play the mind games.
Yeah. No, they killed it down there. That was definitely wasn't expecting that. But yeah, they fucking smash it down there. That's on anytime you go down to Wadapalooza and win any division, that's a big deal.
Yeah. It's not your local comp down the street.
Right. Yeah. I remember some kid at Old Breaking Boundaries won the scaled division. I was like, even the scaled division is like challenging though.
Well, yeah, because the scaled is actually like intermediate,
right?
Or some RX.
Some RX. Yeah. I remember, what was it, 2 years ago? They put in Fran for one of the workouts, and they stopped doing like the just giant leaderboard, and they're like, you can pick which division you sign up for, and it was like elite RX, intermediate, scaled, and the fucking intermediate and scaled were putting up sub 2 minute Frans. I was like, what is going on here, guys? This is so stupid.
Hell yeah. Damn. Sounds exactly like CrossFitters. Like, I'll find a way to win.
Yeah. Well, that community cup, did you see what's going on with that now?
What for?
So you have to. Yeah. So they're gonna put. You have to do all 3 workouts, and then they're gonna take that leveling that they've been doing.
Right.
They'll put you in a level group, and then you go and compete against that group. So how many fucking people do you think are going to just put in ones for their scores and go win level 1 of the CrossFit Community Cup?
Hell yeah.
That might be the most competitive division, to be honest.
Challenge accepted. I'm putting in ones.
I kind of want to do it and just be a douche. It's like, but then you have to pay them, so.
True.
And who knows how expensive that's going to be. But yeah, Fittest of the Coast was a ton of fun. Krista's crew came down. That was a ton of fun. That one's always a great time. So, and we have like 16 people going out maybe even more than that now, but 16 people.
I think 16 of our like direct individual clients, and then we have other people that are associated.
Right. So that one's going to be a ton of fun this year. Raphael's going to come out and shoot a little documentary for it, so that'll be good. And then let's see, March and April we had quarterfinals camp, right?
Yep.
You did the one down. And it was kind of invite only this year.
Yeah, it was basically the girls we had.
Because the scheduling was so fucked this year.
Bree, Ariel, Ashley, Mary Helen, and Amanda.
Yep.
And
then you.
Me.
Yeah.
I was coaching and working out at the same time.
Yeah. And then I ran the camp up in Minnesota at Rochester Progression in Rochester, Minnesota. I remember. Was that. Yeah, the scheduling was so fucked this year for everything because they put the teams first.
Yep.
And it was like teams 2 weeks after the Open.
Yep.
And then was it 2 weeks after that was individual?
1 or 2 weeks, something like that. I don't remember how quick of a turnaround. 2 weeks, yeah.
But it like interfered with any sort of like peaking structure that you could do because like you either had to use the gym for the team, or you had to run a peaking camp, and it's like to do both of those at the same time would be. I mean, for a normal affiliate would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
But then, you know, well, I was in Minnesota, so we didn't have as much manpower down here at the time. We probably could have ran some sort of camp if we had more manpower here, like an actual camp that was like come in for it. But there was like, I think we were anticipating teams qualifying. No, we had teams qualify for quarterfinals.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to pay attention to those. And then you're trying to like do a peaking structure on top of you trying to train was stupid. So hopefully, well, season doesn't even fucking matter anymore.
Right. Honestly, coaching wise this year should be a good time.
Yeah. Well, you're going to be able to set, like, I've already had several conversations with some of my athletes and they're like, let's just peak for Finish of the Coast, Dubai, whatever it is now. So we're not even paying attention to the Open now. And it's so much better.
Mm-hmm. Well, especially like if you even have a chance of making the games, it's I remember in season 8-month structure.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you don't make it and you've committed basically 8 months out of your 12 months of the year to doing this one thing, to peak for this one thing when there's so many other things going on.
And like literally putting your life on hold for it is what, like for 8 months of your life. And that's what I did like back in the day. For years I put my life on hold to, you know, go and accomplish this, but it was cool back then. Like they treated you pretty well. You got stuff at like, not that you don't get stuff, but like there was definitely like a purpose and it was like a huge accomplishment to make.
I think the purpose, like there's more, and this is specifically just only for the individual.
Yeah.
Well, and team. And actually, I think it hits the teams the hardest.
Yeah, 100%.
Because like the teens and the masters have their own real thing where they all get like it's a much better system for them, right?
Yeah,
so
100%.
It panned out for them,
right?
But
I remember people complaining about that so much when they switched that. I was like, guys, this will be better. Like this is the one time you see the vision, and it's like, oh, this is going to be better for you. Mm-hmm. Like you guys get to completely separate yourself from CrossFit, who's been fucking up left and right, and you have a whole new entity that's running your guys' shit, that's had experience running it and has done well running it. Like this is going to be great for you guys. And then turns out it was awesome.
Yep. And it'll get better and better each time.
Yeah. But yeah, it's wild. And this year, I think one of the big like major fucked up things about this year was you had like just the stupid no reps that people got on those step ups. Like I think that was like the snowball effect to this entire year. Like that was like the little trickle of snow. It's like you had several people who had qualified for the games previously, not even fucking qualifying for a semifinals because they weren't looking straight ahead on their box step ups, which is wild. It's like how are you going to professionalize a sport when people year to year can't even count on at least making it to semifinals when they're clearly fit enough to do that, and getting some notoriety on the stage. Like because this, like more than anything, this sport and this like the fitness industry relies on just like eyes on you and like momentum of things. So if your momentum ends at quarterfinals, like you have nothing to build a career off of at that point in time. And it's just fucked.
Well, the biggest problem with all of that always goes back to like that was a huge issue online to get you into like purely a professional side of the sport, right? And that was that was a major issue. And then like it's like, oh, we kind of forgot about that it was that big of an issue.
Yeah.
And then like the way they're trying to fix it is now that they have that judges association and they have like an actual like master's course seminar thing that they're doing.
Right.
Should help.
For the judges, right?
For the judges. Because like that's the thing is they have all these people get online and review videos and like, well, this one judge might be like, oh, this is my time to shine, right? Even though nobody knows, but like, you know,
I am the show.
Yeah, right? You just got a sense of power and you haven't had it, right? Like, and then you have other judges who are like, have been there that know like, this is a good rep. I know what it looks like. I remember. And they understand how how you move. Like the best judges understand like, okay, so again, not everyone has a perfect lockout. You need to lock out, but like some people's range of motion is that range of motion and every single rep is the same.
Right.
And in person, they know this is their range of motion and they're hitting the same extension every time. These count.
Well, and to like caveat with that real quick, like if you get fucking no rep in a competition,
you fix it.
Fix it. You don't just take 99 no reps of some shit. Like, sorry.
Yeah.
Tangent.
No, I mean, it's real. And but unfortunately, like the problem with that is always going to be the online because then it's like, okay, the judge it's in person, it's their job. But then it's like, well, then you always need to leave it up for the person that's reviewing it because no matter what, they'll go over the judge that's already going to either no rep or not no rep you because they're in person watching you.
Right.
The only time it made sense and worked really well was when we had to do the games online as much as I hated it. But like I had Chuck.
But they brought judges
I had
out
Chuck
to you.
And like we had zero issues ever.
Right.
I remember. That's it. It's it's in-person judge. But like you respected Chuck.
Right.
Versus if I had another L3 coach judging me, you don't respect that, but again, Chuck's Chuck. It's a bad example, but
yeah.
But like my point of that is like, what level is good enough? All have to be Chuck. Well, Chuck's you only get one. There's only two people that get to do that.
Right.
So,
well, and not only that, like if you look at if you're trying to professionalize the sport again, like you said, like you have a online barrier to entry to the professional side of the sport. Like the professional side of the sport starts at the open. And if you look at any other professional sport, there's a team of judges judging one fucking game, you know?
Right.
Or like even like track and field, like there's a team of judges judging that competition. And like here you have a judge, like it's just it's a overly flawed system that I don't think can be fixed, but I think you can mitigate some of the errors with actually just more volume. So like changing the structure of the sport entirely back to sanctionals I think would be a good thing for it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it is. And then the only way that works though is if the sport itself, CrossFit, decides to say, hey, like we're gonna open up our gates to more media and sponsors and things that want to work with the sport to grow.
Yeah,
because sanctionals only work if you have more companies that want to be a part of showing and telling these stories of all these things.
Right.
Otherwise there's no money.
Yeah, well, and that's a big issue right now too, because like, did you see that? Well, I think this has been known and wasn't just announced, but like the fact that the game's prize purse is going to be predicated on the number of open signups.
Didn't see that.
Yeah.
Bro.
So so they're trying to crowdsource the funding for the games because likely nobody wants to touch that fucking sponsorship with a 10-foot pole at this point.
Go-Ruck's gone.
Oh yeah. I would.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm sure they didn't sign a 1-year contract. I bet they had. There's a clause in
there. There had to have been a clause. Yeah. So now, if CrossFit was big because they also did have the biggest one. I was the biggest payout. I don't think anyone paid out bigger than the games because it was $275, right? It's been $275 for a while. Right?
$300 if you won.
$300 now if you won. Okay.
That was for a couple years, but if you Rogue was how much this past year?
I don't remember. I didn't.
They also got Bitcoin.
Yeah, true. So they probably made more. in the aggregate?
The people that win the last couple of years,
yeah,
made more.
Yeah, as an aggregate, like as a whole, right?
Yeah.
Like, so if you qualified for Rogue,
the prize purse was bigger. Like the purse itself.
Yeah, right.
Winning
right.
the top end, it wasn't 300.
I think that the top end actually matters more because that's what people like. Everybody
for
thinks
sure.
they're going to go win, right? So I think the top end actually matters more when in reality, it would service you better to go and actually just win money there.
Well, right. I mean, yeah, top number is what gets people to go. But like for me, what like I would look at is like, okay, you also should know if Matt Fraser's in the game, you're not winning. Sorry.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, what's 2 through whatever.
Right.
And look at what that money is because that's what's going to make you go and you want to be competitive there. And all the athletes, if it's a professional sport, they need to make money and not be like, I covered my costs.
Right.
Most of them lose it anyway.
Yeah, right.
But, like I've won competitions where I didn't even cover. And they were big competitions.
That was my entire existence of competing. It was like, I'm just going to pay to go exercise for a weekend, basically.
Yep.
Yeah, fun times.
So get better media if we go back that way.
Yeah. Shit. Okay, so that was April.
I remember.
Tangent.
Yeah, I mean, then there was semifinals, and then
for Stella though, for Stella and Sarah, Stella and Sarah, yeah, for teen and masters.
Yep.
Stella qualified. Sarah was close. She was six spots out, but I think it ended up being like.
I think she got close.
It was like 6 reps on one workout. Yeah, it was super close.
The ring muscle up workout.
Well, so that one she wasn't going to qualify off of that one. She needed to finish that one. It was actually the 20-minute MRAP with the
strict handstand push-up.
That's
the one I gave Courtney on Monday.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's a great workout, honestly.
Yeah. It's a separator for them, for that group. That's a separator.
Right. And so it was sick.
I remember.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was 6 of something. So it was either 6 reps in that workout or it was 6 points in total, which was like, which actually might have been like another 12 reps or something like that. So it was like a little bit more or like 15 reps or something like that. But I mean, it was super close for her. So honestly, this is one of the most impressive things I've seen in the sport in a while. She's in the Air Force band. She's a master sergeant. Apologies if that was wrong. If you've gone up in rank, Sarah. I think she's an E8 right now. She might be an E9. She might have been promoted to E9. I can't remember. So she's like in charge of a whole bunch of shit when they travel. And over semifinals weekend, she was in Seattle. She's based in California, and she was in Seattle running a bunch of concerts up in Seattle. And so she was bouncing from gym to gym to gym while she was up there, traveling to. So it was like do a workout in the morning, maybe 2, and then travel to your concert for the day. Do your concert, go to sleep, wake up, find a new gym. She had to find all the gyms ahead of time, like on top of doing like her regular job for the military. And like if you know anything about the military, they're severely understaffed. So you are fucking working nonstop. And so to be 6 spots out from a qualifying position with all that going on was super impressive. That was one of the most impressive things I've seen in a while. So now she's deployed, unfortunately, but she's still killing it over there in Germany or wherever. OPSEC. Whoops. Was Stella pretty happy with, like, how stoked was Stella when she qualified?
I remember.
She didn't know what to do.
So it was like one of those, like, oh, it happened?
Yeah. We literally had to have a meeting. She's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And I'm like, what? Like, we are going we're doing what we said we wanted to do. I made different goals than what she had in her brain, as much as I told her that.
Yeah.
I wanted her to qualify in the top 10.
Yeah.
That was what I thought she was capable of, which she was.
Yeah.
But she got caught on one of the ring muscle up workouts.
Yeah.
And that's what because she was sitting in like 8th all weekend or something.
Oh, yeah,
and that workout dropped her to 20th.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like, but I knew, like, if that happened, it showed up, depending upon what style of workout it was, like, she would drop. But, that was the one thing for her. But outside of that, like, her fitness capacity was inside the top 10.
Yeah.
So she made it and she qualified 20th, and she still was like, I don't know what to do. But like, so in her brain, she's like, oh my God, I made it. But in my brain, I'm like, of course you made it. I wanted top 10. Like so our goal is to go to the games and do even better.
Yeah.
Right. So like, it was just a little bit different. Like, again, she was 15. She was 15 at the time. So, I don't know. She was excited, but also like, just was like, I don't know how to go about training. Like, I don't know. I'm like, you got to realize like that wasn't the like end goal. So like, you can't let that like drop off of like dopamine and all you got to refocus.
Yeah.
So we had to work on that. And then like when the games were over is when it hit her.
That she like did the thing. Yeah. Yep. It honestly, it just happens so fast too, that you're just kind of like, it's almost like an out of body experience. 'Cause you're like, oh, I did it. And that was such a huge thing that I was working towards. And you're like, what should I be feeling right now?
Right.
Like, 'cause it's never happened. So you're like, what kind of emotions should I be experiencing? And then like, you're like training for the games then. And you're just like, this is so new, like, okay. And then the games happens and it's like the weekend goes by so fast and you're like, and then the weekend ends and it's like you're almost able to stop, slow down and actually reflect on it all. And you're like, oh, that was fucking awesome.
Yeah. Yep. That's how that went. I mean, but we went, games training's the most fun training of all things.
Yep.
There's nothing more fun. So we got to do some of that, obviously in June and July. We had grid going on. Grid started.
Yeah.
But we started, like, we had always been running on Fridays, but like we really started having like groups running on Fridays, teaching them how to run, teaching them how to like legitimately mechanic wise run. Jesus.
Be an athlete.
Oh my God. But this year, obviously, if we have more make the games for the teens, then like it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was June and July. It was literally grid and games training.
Yeah. Well, and then in May, TTT bought the gym out there.
Oh yeah. We kind of skipped that part. Yeah.
So that was cool. I was up in Minnesota at school, so that was fun. I think I had like 2 weeks left of school.
Damn,
at the time.
I blocked all of that in my brain.
I think I had like 2 weeks left of school, so I was dealing with finals, coaching people, and trying to find a new spot for the gym at the time.
Yeah,
and, like,
we were just driving around.
Yeah, you guys were like driving around. Like, hey guys, this person said they'd be willing to let us check out their gym. Like, you guys want to drive down there? I was like, okay. So that was wild. That was a fun time. So who was up and coming again? It's Nick and Devin's gym.
Yeah, it was Devin's gym. I always get it mixed up because he worked at one gym that wasn't this CrossFit gym.
Oh.
And then I was like,
I remember.
wait, what? Oh, and then I just can't remember the name of it.
Yeah. They were moving into
it. Was a
new
number,
facility.
Wasn't it? It was CrossFit.
I remember.
It's not CrossFit, obviously 404. It was something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember.
But yeah, it's incoming.
They were awesome.
Super nice gym.
Yeah, they were great. We'll have to put the name of it down in the bottom. But I know it was Nick and Matt, I think, were the owners of it. And then Devin was obviously associated with them. And then we went to our house down in Atlanta. They were awesome. Perimeter was great. And then there was another one way out there. Can't remember the name off the top of my head either. Shit. Should have wrote those down. Dan knows.
Of course he does.
Yeah. Dan knew the guy. I think it was Steve was the owner, and it was out in it was Druid Hills to the east of Atlanta.
I remember.
Yes.
I think it was out in Druid Hills. So it was like out there. And he was actually on the old grid, like 14, 15, 16 grid.
I remember.
I think like a body weight specialist, but that would have been a little bit too far of a drive for us. So couldn't do that one. But
trying to hang out with Gucci.
Was that
East Atlanta Santa?
East Atlanta Santa?
That's what they call him.
Druid Hills is called that?
No, it's a rapper.
Wait.
Atlanta Santa.
Wait, like Gucci Mane?
Yeah.
Oh, he calls himself East Atlanta Santa?
Somebody calls him that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Right on.
That's what I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's near. I don't know.
Yeah. That's sweet.
He's an idiot.
Yeah, fun times. So yeah, that was an experience.
His mixtape, East Atlanta Santa.
I remember.
That's funny. So that was a fun time. Yep, that was a fun time. We ended up coming to Training Box, which is literally right down the road from where we were at. Cooper's been fucking awesome. He's been great to us. We've actually started to expand because of that. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen. We went from probably averaging like 8 to 10 people on our Saturdays, and we're up to like 16 to 20 now on our Saturday sessions.
Mm-hmm.
We've been able to start running Friday sessions, training sessions out of here, which we had a fuckload of people coming to the track during the summer. And now we have like 2 people coming to 9 a.m.s on Fridays. Is that literally because of the track?
I think so.
That's crazy.
I think so. I think it's because it was like a designated group of like coaching and stuff. I don't know. That'll grow back to where it needs to be. But
yeah, literally though, as soon as we switched to trail running, people were like, nah, like they stopped showing up.
Yeah,
it was like because it was
like I can just go on a trail run anytime I want.
Yeah, we'll have to alternate that this year.
I remember.
Let us know what you want in the comments. But yeah, the track. Then that was like June, July, and August. We were all at the track.
Well, eventually, when everything's done, I mean, I know Cooper's trying to put down a gravel track.
Yeah.
Until he can put down eventually afford a real track, but eventually also have a grass field. Well, there's we can do everything on site.
Right.
Which would be sick.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, because Cooper's trying to build out a location right now.
I bet we could make a trail back there because there's a lot of land.
Yeah, it's on a lot of land. Yeah, we can. We probably can. Yeah, we'll have to talk to Cooper about that. But yeah, so yeah, the track sessions were a lot of fun. Plus, it was just outside in the sun. The sun's awesome. Fuck the winter time.
Yeah, agreed.
And that was pretty much June and July was like doing all that shit. You guys had grid. Obviously, 4th of July, we had people traveling for.
Yep.
I remember.
I don't think there was anything really that crazy that happened. Oh, we did have a crazy weekend of like 24 or 26 people that showed up at the end of July randomly, right before the 4th. And I don't remember. I think we did.
I remember.
Oh, we brought everybody to the track, and then we did a 3 p.m. session, and then it was our normal Saturday session.
When did we run the next camp?
The next camp wasn't.
So that was
seminar
weekend. We had like all the 3 days. It was a ton. That was recently though.
That was in yeah. So like we had the random group in July that everybody just showed up for, and then we had another one. Or sorry, that was at the end of June, and then we had another one in July, and I think that's when we started to see like, oh, we have something going on here.
Yeah.
And so we ran the camp. The camp had.
I remember.
Was it 30 people at it?
I remember.
Roughly.
I think it was around 30. And that one, we're going to do another one of those probably in March. But we're trying to build the Bring a Friend weekend right now that's happening January 10th and 11th. So if you're listening to this, please join us. It's free. There you'll get some coaching.
Free.
You'll get to train with, it's more about training. You'll get some coaching. But we're just trying to build a community event and like have fun for the weekend and just bring intensity for the start of the season. And then we're looking at doing a camp in March again. Side tangent, plug, whatever. But yeah, that I think was when we noticed that we had something kind of going. And then the camp was fucking
That was the weekend before Labor Day. That was the second to last weekend in August.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy because honestly, like there's so much, well, and I guess we can't skip over the games, but there's just so much shit going. Like as soon as July 4th ends, there's like just shit that's piled up for the rest of the year. And it's so hard to find a good weekend to get people to like be able to come. That was what we were running into this year. Cause then they ended up pushing out the teams and the masters because like games and then teens.
I remember.
Was that and that was the same weekend in the Masters, and then you guys had grid in between that.
Yep.
So it was like 1, 2, 3 weekends, and then we had the camp on the 4th weekend of August.
Yeah, like I was just getting absolutely backhanded.
Yeah, that was a lot of travel.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there was the 2 weeks before the games was the double it was a grid match. I don't think it was a
4th of July. So that was 4th of July.
Not 2 weeks before the games. The games are first weekend in August.
Right. So like the first week of July was grid. And then
okay.
the next match was right after the games.
Oh, and that was that the doubleheader? No, that was in Vegas.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
I remember.
Yeah. So the whole that's when things started to really like hit the ground running, was August timeframe, and we started to actually go and do we started to get like after the camp was when we started to really get people coming to our Saturday sessions and like understanding like, oh, you come here and you get coached. Like, you're not just another number. You're getting coached. Doesn't matter what ability level you're at. You're getting coached and you're getting better. And I think that's what, that camp, I think, propelled us to that, because we had, like, nobody has run a camp like that. Like,
I remember.
what we do really well is we take whatever our specialty is and apply it to the sport. And when you go to these other camps, they take the specialty and just teach people the specialty. They don't teach people how to apply it to the actual sport. Right. And that's what our camp was built around, was like taking our specialties and applying it to the sport. And I don't think there hasn't been a camp like that, obviously. But like you did a barbell seminar Friday morning, and then we went into a snatch workout. And then we did, what was Friday evening? It was just a workout, right? We did just a workout.
I don't remember what it was.
So we had just a workout Friday evening.
We had a gymnastics seminar.
Yeah, so we had workouts Saturday morning, gymnastics seminar between that.
Yep.
Like a full hour gymnastics seminar with our coach. We did drills. She came around and watched everybody. She gave people cues. Like, we were helping out. Like, that was, honestly, I think that was one of the most valuable things. Like, not to take anything away from it, but like,
people don't go to those.
Right. And like the way that Krista teaches is awesome. Like, the way that she sees where people are at in regards to like what is going on in their gymnastics, I don't think anybody sees.
There's more going on in gymnastics than there is a fucking barbell.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things on a barbell, but it is so fucking easy to see, even though people can't see it. But like gymnastics, there's just so many things.
Yeah. So many. You're having to manipulate objects with the rings and manipulate your body while it moves through space in crazy ranges of motion.
Yeah.
So it's like there's like a fuckload of things going on and can break down at any one point in time.
Right.
Where like a barbell, it's
a finite positional movement. You need to hit you're not.
I remember.
It's not as subjective.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah. Like limb length plays into it, and like you can create some subjectivity.
But at the same point, the bar needs to be one place. Your hips and knees to be pretty much within 1 to 2 degrees of variation, and like that's what it is. Like, it's very simple. And like, yeah, people don't know how to move their body properly, but if you don't know how to move it there, you're not going to know how to do it the gymnastics side.
Right. And I think with the gymnastics side of things too, there's an added mobility. Like, you need mobility to catch a snatch, right?
Yep.
And catch a clean, and like be able to jerk from a good position. But it's like the level that you need relative to your ceiling of mobility is much lower to get to. So it's a little bit easier to build those positions than it is the level of mobility that you would need to get into a genuinely good thoracic extension during a ring muscle up. So it's like, and then, teaching people how to get into that, what mobility drills they need to do. Like, Krista's really good at all of that. So yeah, that was fun. And then then Saturday night, Meredith gave her talk on nutrition. Sunday morning was the swim. And then we ran kind of 2 workouts almost back to back, and ended with like that.
I remember.
What was it? Bike, burpee, thruster, and then thruster, burpee, bike, and then bike, burpee, M-RAP thruster at the end. People were fucked up.
Yeah. Elimination rough.
Yeah. Do you want to touch on the games at all?
I remember.
I mean, I think
you have literally one storyline.
Yeah.
Well, there's 2. There's 2 storylines.
Sprague winning.
Yeah. And Lazar dying. That's it.
Yeah.
I remember.
Man.
And like, I mean, what do we to be?
I remember.
Lazar's the biggest thing, obviously, about the whole thing. The storyline for James, he won. He deserves to sit. He is the fittest in the world. He won. He fucking won. The programming for the games outside of that, horrifyingly terrible.
Terrible.
The worst year it's ever been. It finishes out. It's the cap at the finish of the season that they pull out together.
Yeah.
You know, that's just,
dude, it is wild how bad this year was.
They got,
it was so wild.
I know they didn't do the event. The fact that it was even going to happen.
That sledgehammer?
Just, bro.
So bad. Why? Like, why? And Dave was like pumped about that shit.
Okay, I'm fine. I'm fine with the sledgehammer. It's not the sledgehammer. It's the standard at what you allow the demo team to show you.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh my God.
That was so bad. Oh man. I remember, yeah.
That's where you look at CrossFit and be like,
I remember.
no, that's stupid as
It's
fuck.
so stupid. Did you see that video that I put of them back in 2009, like swinging the hammer?
It was the exact same thing. At least the stake, like, yeah, it was. I know it's not an actual stake, and
But it was like you had a
didn't make it
measurement.
move.
Yeah, like you had to pound it into the ground. This is like
and
you literally just
you
had
can tap it like this if you want, right?
right. This you just literally had to hump.
Yeah. I mean, granted, it was rebar when they did it, but you know, whatever.
Right.
Still, like, okay, cool. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But this
well,
one,
also like, dude, your whole thing is like you got Rogue on board, and every year you invent this new.
let them build a stake.
Right. Like, why would you not build something that actually has some metric to
For
it?
God's sakes, pull out the clown machine where you hit the bell.
Literally, like there could have been something that was built.
You have to make the bell ring 100 times, or the buzzer go up 100 times.
Right.
So if you don't hit it hard enough, it doesn't go up.
There could have been
Standardize
some
it.
sort of standard metric to it, and it was just. And I think that was like a big, like, people were obviously in the comments section talking about that, but it's just like fucking mind blowing that like
I remember.
like where why was that a thought process that this was going to be a good idea?
Yeah.
I like back in the day, I know it was cool to like hit the fucking tire with the sledge, and like tires were cool back in like 2009, 2010. But man, they faded out fast because they're dirty as fuck. They're all different sizes. Like they're a pain in the ass to store at gyms. So like no affiliate's gonna have you have to go to a specialized gym for those. And like I get it. The games is like very specialized thing. So like you probably should have touched tires leading up to it. But like, dude, just do fucking tire flips. Like,
Yeah.
bring tire flips back. Like that's at least somewhat subjective and measurable.
Yeah. I mean, again, or I do like the pig, but the Rogue made it, right?
Right,
Like,
right.
There's your implement. It's like a tire. Same
Right.
idea. And those things aren't light.
Right.
You gotta move. You gotta work on it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I guess, I mean, we can't actually skip that whole thing because hopefully it's the pinnacle that changes the entire sport for everyone going forward.
Yeah.
Because
right.
of negligence and being dumb.
Yeah.
And
like it is a super big tragedy that he lost his life, especially with the way that it went down. And I think the community would have been more fine with it if there had been changes that, and obviously we don't know what the community is feeling like. This is just, our sentiment. But it does seem like there's a lot of just like disappointment around the aftermath of it. And like how they handled the aftermath of it, of like literally just like presenting that we made changes when in reality there's nothing that
so right
changed.
now, like everyone is just arguing. All the media people are even arguing with in each other, the people that have made themselves media people, right?
Yeah.
About CrossFit. And at the end of the day, they're just bickering like 7-year-olds.
Yeah.
Not pushing the sport forward, causing more issues.
Right.
And the way you solve it is literally someone saying, yes, we fucked up. It's going to be fixed. This is how we're fixing it.
Yeah.
Not like wash it under the rug and then come out with something and then go back to what they normally do. Like, make a legitimate show that you're going to change things. And now, but they're saying like, hey, we want to just sell. Looks like
from all intents and purposes and what everybody's saying online, like, or from what some of the higher level media people are saying.
Right. And now instead they want to, looks like they're just going to try and sell the company.
Right.
That's what it looks like they're trying to do.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully it's the pinnacle that changes things forward, but
I mean, there definitely needs to be some change for sure. Like this is,
which we did. We've gotten change this year and it looks like a rough seas for about a year.
Yeah. I mean, it could be rough seas for...
It could be longer, but at least a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
But rough seas for that specific streamline. Everything else might get better everywhere else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, fuck. You saw, like, Rogue got better. Like,
Fittest of the Coast has the most people competitive and high-level competition already this year coming up.
Yeah, right.
Like, a ton. Like, it's just all these other competitions will grow because of that.
And, like, if you listen to the podcast I did with Kyle, like, his whole focus is on the athletes, which is also what Rogue's focus was on the athletes. And they put out these amazing competitions. And it's like, they put out the competitions that people genuinely want to go to. Though the thing that the games had going for it was the notoriety. Like, you would get the notoriety because it was at such a big fitness festival. But, like, if they're fucking crowdsourcing the funding this year, what the fuck are the games going to look like? That's going to be bad. Like, if you're not getting any sponsorships, also, is it in Fort Worth again? Do we even know where it is?
I don't know.
So, like, what, like, is it even going to be a thing that you want to go into?
What if it's at the ranch?
Yeah. I mean, I do like the ranch.
I do like the ranch, but a lot of people don't like Dave.
I mean, the ranch would be a cool spot, but, like, again, you're, like, I think some of the biggest issues are you're affiliating yourself with the individuals that caused the issue in the first place with no change to the season structure. And then you're just piling more power on top of it. So, like, you know, I don't know. I think the games are going to look not great this year if they're already crowdsourcing the prize money for it.
We'll see.
Right.
I don't know. But
and that might be, you know, I might be misunderstanding. Like, that might also be like part of the open is going towards so it might, you know, they might have the same prize purse again, and part of the open goes towards. So, like, cool. That would be cool. You give athletes more money. Fine. That's fine.
I doubt that, but yeah.
But yes, I agree. I agree. That's probably not the route that it's going. But yeah, I don't know. I think everybody's so focused on, you know, what happened over the last 4 months and, like, making the decision of, do I even compete in the open? And then, you know, whatever. And, like, and they're all left in the dark too, because nobody knows literally nobody knows right now the path to the games outside of the 20 individuals that are going to semifinals. So it's like, but you've announced that you're going to have live competitions. Nobody knows what the fuck those are or what they're going to look like, the qualifying process. So everybody's, like, pretty much bumble fucking around trying to figure out what's going on right now. And they're not even thinking about, like, the possibility of the games just being stupid as fuck this year. And, like, that, if you start thinking about that, and if you start thinking about, if you come to the conclusion that the games are going to be dumb as shit, why would you sign up for any of this stuff to just waste 8 months like you were talking about?
For people that have done this long enough, that's the questions you're asking yourself.
Yeah.
If you've been doing it and you've never made it, it doesn't change you.
Yeah.
You're still doing it because you haven't done it yet. And the name is still there. And I'm not going to tell anyone they're dumb for doing that. I get that.
Same.
I truly, like, keep going.
Yeah.
Because I told this to somebody else the other day, and it's the exact same conversation. Why the fuck you do it? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, put yourself in shoes. You've never made the games.
Yeah.
And you're close.
Yeah.
And all the people are bowing out.
Yeah.
You literally should be like, that's another spot.
This is my
That's
opportunity.
another spot.
Yeah.
This is we don't get opportunities. So, like, here's an entire flipped perspective for a lot of people. You don't get that many opportunities, and they're here. People are handing you opportunities.
It's like 2021 again.
Go fucking take them.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, those people, the people that are hungry, and, like, like, at the end of the day,
I remember.
You might not like who's at the top of a company. Right. You probably don't like who's running Coca-Cola.
True.
You're not going to stop drinking that.
Probably don't like the CEO of a certain healthcare company.
Oh my God. Well, somebody did something about that. But, like, that's the thing is all these companies in the world that you still support. I don't know. I'm looking around. Like,
yeah.
You might not like that person, or you have no idea. And if you decided to dig enough, you wouldn't like them.
Right.
Are you just going to stop maybe you're probably going to stop using everything in life except air.
Right. Yeah.
And source your own water from a creek. Like,
for sure.
You know, you can look at it different ways. And yes, I get it. Like, there's bad stuff at the top across the board, and it was pretty prevalent. That's because it's in your line of sight. Yeah. Right.
Right.
They don't care about you. And as long as you know that, like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Some people do. I've mentioned this before. There's a group of people that work at HQ that really do care about athletes, but the top, they really don't care about you. They want to make money.
Right.
I remember.
As long as you understand that they don't care.
Yeah.
And you're doing it for you, go for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Right.
And that's why the sport's not going to go away, because there's so many people that are competitive in that mindset.
Yeah. Well, and it's fun. Like, bottom line, people,
I remember
the sport will stick around because it's fun and people get hooked on it.
Right.
Like, before there were, like, I remember, so I started back in 2010 or 11, right? And I remember, like, when I got out of the Marine Corps, literally the only thing I could think about was my next workout. And that is the level of addiction that you have coming into this. And there wasn't shit for, like, Rich Froning made a living off of it.
Yeah.
And that was it. Maybe 5 other people, right?
Chicks.
Yeah, chicks. Right. Camille. Like, and so, like, there was almost nothing in it for me besides the fact that I saw myself getting better, and it was addicting. Like, the adrenaline dump, the dopamine hits were addicting. And I think you'll always have that around. And, like, competing in this sport, it's just fun. Like, even if it's a local competition, even if it goes down to local level competitions, it's still fun to go and compete. And, like, so I think the sport will always be around. Just the capacity at what it's at will be different. Like, it might just be a hobby now, you know?
I think again, we put CrossFit as the main source of it all, like HQ. I do think it's some version is going to take flight. I don't know who it is. It could be HQ.
Right.
They could fake. Not saying it is. Who knows?
Right.
Somebody's going to rise again, and Rogue is already there.
Yeah.
They're the most likely candidate, but, like, Wadapalooza's risen. Like, everyone just keeps going up.
Yeah. Right.
The ones that not doing the right things are going to keep falling down. Right.
Right.
But those other ones that are doing a good job keep pushing each other to do better.
Right.
And then it becomes the next sought after, like, hey, now there's a lot of money. There's a lot of stories. There's a lot of media. There's a lot of companies that want to be a part of these things.
Right.
And it kind of shoots back up.
Right.
So one of them, just like stocks, somebody's going up. Someone's going to rise to the top.
Yeah.
You're going to, what cryptocurrency is going to be the next big one, essentially?
What billionaire is going to inject $100 billion into AI in the US?
Right. It's not going anywhere. People can think that and whatever, but it's not. And I hope they get their shit together, but who knows? They haven't for however long. It's still an infancy stage of a sport. That's the thing. We should be getting to become out of it.
I remember.
It's definitely an infancy again this year.
But, like, how much of that? So, like,
I remember
infancy stage, yes, but how much of that is because
bad choices?
The ownership and the leadership can't get their shit.
Yeah, for sure. But,
like, Rogue started at the same time as CrossFit, and look at what Rogue's doing now. You know, like, it doesn't
grow at the same rate, I guess.
Like, it doesn't, like, you could say it's in its infancy, but that's also somewhat of an excuse.
Well,
too,
no,
you
for
know?
sure. I just mean sport wise. I don't mean business. I don't mean CrossFit as a business. I'm not, but the sport, because Rogue, you're right, is still the sport.
Right.
And they are growing.
Right.
So, like, Rogue is still at its infancy stage, and they are doing a really good job.
Right.
Start looking at that, actually. Companies that are at their infancy stage, look at how they keep progressing.
Right. Right.
Wadapalooza started. They had a lot of issues. They've fixed a lot of them. They're still going to have some issues.
Right.
But that's because of how big of a competition they run.
Right.
It's not the same as Rogue, but they've gotten better. Hopefully, this new space will.
Same with Fittest of the Coast. Like, every year they adapt and they get better. And, like, yeah. I mean, I think we've had a conversation about this, and, like, you know, we believe in more of, like, that mid-tier, like, and tier under the games is is the future. Like, obviously we're talking about it right now, but we kind of believe that's where the future is going to be. And those are like those are the goals that we want to be coaching right now, is people that are like, I want to go to Dubai. I want to go to Rogue. I want to go to Wadapalooza, like beach brawl. I want to sign up for beach brawl and get in, like, do well in the RX division. Like, those are the people that we want to be coaching right now, because those are
they provide opportunities.
Yes. Right. And like, I think, coming back to, one thing that, like, you're talking about the CEOs and like you might not like a lot of them. It's an issue in CrossFit who the leadership is, because CrossFit itself was built off of community.
Right.
And so obviously it looks like they're trying to change that, which, you have your own opinions about. But when you do that, and then you have something like that happen, and then you bastardize your response to it, you are going to have issues with what you're trying to sell, your product, your business, etc.
Right.
And so, like, I think it's okay for people to dislike the leadership and like realize that they dislike the leadership, and then not want to spend money on it because of that. Vice versa, like you were saying, I think it's totally fine to chase a dream and like chase something that you're after, and like not give a fuck about who the leadership is, how they're going to treat you, or what you look like to them. And like, ultimately it's about what you want to accomplish as an individual.
I mean, if you wipe your mind of all things CrossFit, come into the sport as an athlete that wants to be the best in the sport.
Yeah.
What are you looking to compete in?
Yeah. Yeah.
Me, at this point, I'm looking at Rogue.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
I'm looking. Dubai was always there. Like, it's always been a fluttering thing. Like, you want to go do that, but like, Rogue.
Yeah.
Rogue, they're doing everything right. So I look at that and I'm like, if I'm an athlete that's just starting out and that's what I want to, that's where that might be my top end goal. CrossFit Games is still there. I think they're equal at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I'm fresh, new eyes to the sport.
Right.
I remember.
They might be shifting.
Yeah. Well, and like, depending on what the games are going to look like, if they, whatever their sponsorship issue, like sponsorships
they're floating right here. Like, this is, this year is going to be tough because they have to make adjustments. Between this year and the following year are going to tell you what will happen with this sport.
Yeah.
It's not this season.
Right.
Everyone's but between it's kind of like a football team.
Yeah.
You're rebuilding.
Yeah.
What are you going to make adjustments to?
Right.
You better make the right fucking adjustments.
Right. Or you'll just Cleveland Browns the rest of your career.
Jesus. I love Jameis Winston, though.
He's legit. He's so awesome.
That bench, though, RIP.
Did he?
Yeah.
Damn.
He threw like 3-4 picks last game. No touchdowns.
That's Jameis Winston.
You're right. It's feast or famine.
Yeah.
Dude, he'll throw 500 yards, 5 TDs, but also 5 interceptions.
Yeah.
Did you? Oh my God! I know it's a tangent, but did you see his post game interview after that game? It was like 2 weeks ago. He's like, I just pray the Lord delivers me from pick sixes. Or no, pick sixes.
Oh my God.
Like, oh my God.
He's so awesome.
Never change.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we went off on a huge tangent.
That's fine. Well, it was all about the game.
Yeah.
It was all about the games.
So I think September we had beach brawl. That was fun as fuck. We crushed it there. Yeah. We had Amanda win, Bree won RX female. We had 2 teams on the podium for teams. We had Amanda's team with Nicole, Hannah, and Gina, and then we had Brooke's team with Brooke, Maddie, Kyle, and Logan Jenkins. I think is that it?
I remember.
Am I missing anybody? I thought it was 4 podium spots.
I remember.
Sydney was close.
Sydney was very close.
I remember.
I mean, from the RX division alone, I think we had 4 people inside of the top 10.
Yeah.
In the RX division.
I remember.
And Sydney was like, I think like 2 points out of getting on the podium.
I remember.
So yeah, it was really that was an awesome competition.
Yeah, go do beach brawl if you haven't done it. It's a perfect like mid-tier comp to do.
Right. And like, who knows what they're going to grow into, but that was one Wadapalooza the first time.
Bring your own equipment though.
Yeah. Warm up area will be lacking.
I remember.
Yeah, Wadapalooza is like a bucket list. Honestly, Pensacola is sick as fuck. Finish of the Coast is really good competition. Like ever since Granite Games went away, I would equate Fittest of the Coast to Granite Games. Like Granite Games was very well run. I wouldn't say that it was like anything flashy, but Fittest of the Coast is like very well run and it's flashy. And I think that's going to be a really fun competition going into the future.
Mm-hmm.
October, you guys won.
We did.
Congrats again.
No, that was Vegas.
October is it? Oh, November is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. October.
Vegas.
Yeah.
What else?
Arizona.
Yeah, you went out to DCC. How was that competition?
Super cool. It's same place where Legends. They just had Legends at. Cool, super cool venue because ASU is like sick. And there's a ton of people.
Yeah.
That's workouts overall were pretty good.
Yeah.
They ran everything on time. Like for the most part, was on time. I think the only like major negative was the briefing was horrifying.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but they did live stream it, which was good. Just go home.
Yeah,
just go home.
Right.
But
was it the questions? Were people asking questions?
But like just the questions were bad. But the way it was kind of like they were kind of in the middle. I think they were trying to appease everyone. Like we're just gonna kind of go about this and not like half-ass it, just be like we're gonna kind of skip some stuff to make it seem easier, and then
I remember
the way it is just like the best way to do it, video the flow.
Yeah.
Do before you get there, have the flow videoed out.
Yeah.
Right. Very simple. Here, so they see what it looks like.
Right.
On the floor. Then you can have like and then you can talk about the standards after whatever. Video it all. Then have an open live stream briefing that people can come to. And it's basically like, event 1, this is it. Read it out. Cool. Questions on it.
Movement standards.
Well, like you literally do it on video.
Yeah.
Right? You have it after you've done your flow. Do all that pre-recorded.
Yeah.
Send that out. Then you go and you like have your live walk in, or you have a live stream.
Yeah.
Right. And that's it. And like you talk about the workout. Any questions to this one?
Right.
No, moving on. Here's your next one. Read it out. And like that way people can ask questions in person.
Right.
But they already have all the information earlier. And if you put it out on the video and you're like, clearly you didn't fucking watch it.
I remember.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Or you have like you have an email. There's another way you can do it. If you like a system and it's sent out to all emails. And if it's not unlocked, like if you have to watch it and it's not unlocked, you don't get to ask questions. It's a little more complicated, but it's a way you can move forward to it.
Well, I mean, I think too, like you can just have somebody that's answering questions that knows what the video looks like, and then like if somebody asks some dumb shit, like that question was addressed in the flow video, please reference back to the flow video.
Right. That's it.
Boom,
and then,
done.
And then you move forward and everyone else in there doesn't have to deal with shit, right? And then also yourself, you don't have to get fucking yelled at or booed or fucking feel like people hate you.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah.
You know, I think that personally, I told Boz this. I was like, I think this is like the future of how you do briefings.
Yeah.
I know at the games it's tough because they try to hide everything and it's all last second, but like, have those up front. Maybe that's part of what the demo team does. Yeah. That you video it right there, and then send it out an hour or 45 minutes or 30 minutes before the workout.
Yeah. Well, and you can unlock the flow 20 minutes before the briefing. Yeah. So then it's not like you're still hiding it, right? But it's like you unlock it, people get to view it, people get to see it, and then they can come with questions from there. Yep. If they want to.
Yeah. And makes it super simple because like also all the judges and like Boz having to deal with that, and Chuck, and like they don't want to sit there and have to deal with the shit either. Right. You can tell their response.
Yeah.
This is the best one. Chuck's just like,
I remember.
exactly that every time.
Dude, the questions back in like 2014 were bad. They were.
They're still bad. They're still there. They haven't gone anywhere. They still haven't gone anywhere.
Okay, so October was Vegas. Then we had in DCC.
I remember.
November, you guys won the grid.
Yep.
Lit. That was fun. We did a podcast on that. I don't know if you want to rehash anything on that, but
I remember.
We're the best. RIP to everybody else. I'm over it.
It was fun. I think for that one, like in general, I think it was just fun to watch you guys. Like I don't like. I'm not necessarily coaching grid on the floor, right? I have athletes doing it, but I'm not coaching it on the floor. But like even from team back in 2014 and then watching grid in 14, 15, 16, like there's a level of execution that you have to have. And like you understand, like just go out there and fucking do your job. And like that was what you guys did so well in the championship match.
Well, I think our advantage, I think a lot of teams, which they don't talk about, a lot of teams have their owners or whatever, their coaches, their athletes, whatever, they're coaching other people on their team.
Yeah.
Last year we didn't have that at all.
Yeah.
This year we did.
Yeah.
We have a lot of athletes on our team that we are coaching.
Right.
And you can develop them to where they need to be by the championship weekend.
Right.
That's what you want to do.
Right.
And by then, it wasn't flawless, but it was pretty damn close.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're never going to have a perfect competition, but like you guys actually went out there and did your job. And like, I'll be honest, like I sit there and watch the live streams. I'm like, motherfucking fucker. I get pissed at these live streams. But like watching you guys over that weekend, I was like, it was like refreshing. It was like, oh, you did it. You just went out there and you did your job. And like, if you weren't able to do it, you communicated super well. You got somebody else to do your shit. Like it was so great to watch. Like I think that was just a ton of fun to watch, or like watch the progression throughout the year, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So
yeah, that was good. That I needed that in my life.
Yeah, no doubt. And then December, what all have we done this month? Honestly, not really anything.
We've had a ton of people come in all of November constantly.
Oh, we did the fundraiser. What the fuck? We did the fundraiser. We did a fundraiser for Big Fish Project
last weekend.
Yeah, that was wild. We got ghosted by our main sponsor, who like, that shit was just so wild. Like they're affiliated with you guys. I'm not even gonna say their name, but they were affiliated with you guys. They kind of gave you some stuff.
They didn't give anybody on the team anything. The only person they gave anybody was the people that came in on Saturday when they gave.
So and that was
the weight vest.
Yeah, so like they came here on Saturday, in August. I think it was
something like
the weekend before the camp, and they gave, I think it was like 20 people an item. And they got to keep that item, and it was like a $250 item. So like a relatively expensive piece of equipment that for them, I don't know how much the manufacturing cost. So it might have been, and they were trying to break into the industry. So it's like great marketing PR for them. Gets more people having vests. Damn. More people having that item. And then, so like, they got connected with you guys. They were connected with you guys. They came up, met us. And then we tried to, bring them into this fundraiser that we were running, where we were going to use their item on the last workout that we had to get, we had 44 people signed up for this thing, which like for a fundraiser is probably pretty solid, with just marketing that we're doing. I'm filming videos, and so they were gonna get their item on like a 44 people that may not have used it before, and so it was gonna be a great marketing event for them. They were gonna, and then we were gonna donate to their organization because they were kind of co-connected, and then they just straight up ghosted us. Don't know why. Maybe there's a legitimate reason to it, but one of the individuals that was like posting on their Instagram throughout the course of me trying to get a hold of the other two people that I was like were the main contact point, and I sent that individual who was posting on the Instagram, because the two Instagram accounts were not responding. I'd sent out text messages and email trying to get correspondence from them. Their Instagram accounts were not posting. They also, like on top of this, had asked me to potentially be on a podcast, and they were going to sponsor one of our teams for Wadapalooza with a significant amount of money to go down there. No contact with any of this stuff. So like maybe there is something that happened, and we don't know about it, but they, it's been almost
you got left on red though.
Yeah, but like this guy that I reached out to,
I remember.
read the message, and then proceeded to stop posting on his Instagram account, which is crazy. And like, this is 3 days before our fundraiser. So
sick.
Yeah. So we had to make some adjustments for that. So that was fun. but everything works out for a reason. And the organization or the foundation that we donated to, the Big Fish Foundation, just aligns way better with us. They've gone and done cool things already. Do you know who Brian Fish is? Or so they did.
I remember.
He does some fun shit, but their whole thing is like they put on events where veterans can come in and just kind of like connect, grow, and then services are like their 3 pillars. But they also did this. They rode across the Atlantic Ocean nonstop. I think they did that last year, but it's like they just go and do cool stuff like that.
Bitches.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Like 4 dudes that just rode across the Atlantic Ocean. So it's pretty cool. But I think they just align with us way better. So hopefully we can do that in the future. But now it's a week away from Christmas.
I remember.
Actually, when this gets released, it'll be a day after Christmas.
I remember.
Merry Christmas to those who celebrate.
Hopefully Santa came.
I remember.
Where's Dan?
Right. So, yeah, that's our year in review. I think we probably fucking hit an hour and a half on that one. I don't know.
No, we started late, but we got a lot of things cooking for this next year.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun year. Yep. We're kind of like, we're starting to partner with Training Box now. We'll be doing their programming. So, some of their social media content. So if you guys are in the area, and you're looking for health and wellness gym, like you happen to catch this podcast, you're looking for a health and wellness gym, we are the spot. Come check us out. We've got a lot of partnerships, more than just fitness and exercise, that will help you meet whatever your fitness goals are. So we're kind of the whole package in the area. So
man, we got a lot of things cooking for the year. It's gonna be a good year.
It's gonna be fun. Sweet. Cool. Well, thanks for listening, guys. As always, we'll catch you next time. Please like and subscribe. Probably should have said at the beginning of the video, but if you guys can drop a comment as well, that'd be helpful. And we'll catch you guys next time.